We'll move on to the next topic. Commissioners, it's 9:40. I would like to get to these minutes. I know that I want to acknowledge that we do have a couple of reports. And one of them was Commissioner Barton concerns about meeting length of meetings. We have a couple other reports. Commissioner, what's your pleasures for addressing these minutes? I do want to recall that we often discuss that we don't get these minutes done until months afterwards, so Commissioner Lynn.
I'd like to get the minutes on now. I don't think it's going to take very long.
Thank you very much.
You get new copies of them every week.
Thank you, sir. All right, let's go ahead. Let's move forward here. The first set I have is it's the Finance Committee minutes, and this is from Friday, August 10th.
I move the minutes from the Finance Subcommittee of August 10th.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any corrections, additions, omissions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? Next set of minutes are from September 17th. I'm going to go through these pretty quickly here. Pages 1, 2, or 3. And this is pertains to our hearing. Okay, pages 4 and 5. Discussion on the CFP and OPC deliberations, pages 6 and 7. Page 8. Commissioners, any changes? Vice Chair Levine?
Move to approve the minutes of Monday, September 17th, 2012. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? All right. Next set is October 3rd. This is another Finance Committee meeting.
Move to approve the Finance Committee minutes of Wednesday, October 3rd, 2012. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Looks like the last set is October 17th. These are subcommittee minutes. Right, October? Yeah, Wednesday, October 17th. So this is a comprehensive plan subcommittee meeting. Pages 1, 2, or 3. Page 4 and 5 and 6. Page 7. Page 8 or 9. I just want to thank staff for getting a little bit more beef in the minutes. Thank you. That's off the record. Is there a motion to approve as proposed?
So moved. Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the minutes as proposed. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? All right. Thank you, Commissioners. Thank you, Commissioner Hahn. Move this forward. All right, speed minutes here. We've got a couple minutes here for reports. Let's start out here. Roger, we've got the letter, I think, is just about ready to...
We signed tonight, so I guess it's going to go forward to the council in the next few days.
Thank you so much, and thank you.
Yeah. So I think, well, probably the Finance Committee on here in case we have any ideas and hear more about the letter. So, but probably not very lengthy reports to come out.
I think it's going to keep it on too. It's a standing committee for us. Commissioner Richards, anything on comp plan subcommittee when we're meeting for?
I think it's been thoroughly covered.
We think it's been vetted pretty well here. Any liaison assignments, UAC?
We had a discussion, the UC, about bringing in compost from the recycled compost that we get. And I'm blocking on the company because it goes down. But there was just an idea that Silver Springs, I think, that we might be able to recycle it through the community, that the community might have a chance to purchase it, you know, at a reduced rate. But so far that was not approved because it was just difficult to implement, basically. There wasn't an easy way to distribute it or implement it at this time. But it is being considered maybe for the future if there, you know, a way to distribute it economically, not so time, you know, where it didn't involve a lot of staff time. That could be somewhat big of a process. Yeah. And there was also, Silver Springs was shut down, so there was also the desire to see how long it was up and running and what if the source was reliable. And then we approved rate increases. There's going to be a couple rate increases for drinking water, and I'm trying to remember the other one. Oh, for actual waste, and the waste increases have to do with increase in tipping fees, so it's not really the city's decision. Part of the increase for drinking water, just because it's been costing more to deliver services as people use less water. Apparently with the economic downturn, there's been less water usage, so it actually costs, when people use less water, then there's less people to pay for the water, so rates go up. Yeah. They say that we've been sending a very good conservation signal, so people are using less water. They're not sure exactly why, if it's the downturn or just that people are conserving more water. But since we pay for our infrastructure, and there's a fixed cost to the infrastructure, there's a cost to deliver water, and when people use less of it, then rates have to go up. I don't know if that makes any sense.
In the long run, it's supposed to save money for the city because we don't have to build new towers and fill water and all that, but maybe in the short run,
Yeah.
it's costly.
Anything on design review board, any projects on it?
Nothing with a design review, but I would like to say that today Commissioner Ingman and myself and I were invited to participate in meeting with Bethune, and it was very exciting and productive meeting, and we talked about cost and about scope of work, and we're looking forward to work with them.
Was that up in Seattle or was it here? Or?
We went to see.
Okay, that's what I thought, because that was part of the land use, that's a $45,000 contract with Bethune.
Visualization.
Well, hopefully you'll get some projects here in the future. Feedback, anything?
No, however, I am actually directing an email to them to let them know about just the ideas of the DeVoe Street connection, Park Drive / Ken Lake non-wires connection to Kaiser, as well as one of the commissioners maybe had also mentioned Pat wanting it to be formalized around where the California Tacos truck is on the west side. And that came up in one of our meetings recently as well. I'm just trying to remember, I think neighborhood meeting. Yeah, sorry. Too many meetings. It's all blending. Okay. My state.
California Tacos Trail. Do you have a report, Jerry? Commissioner Parker?
I don't have a report per se, but at the last meeting, Lou gave out this blue book, and I know that I probably have more time than most of you. This is an amazing report that could be very useful to us in looking at the economics chapter of the comp plan. It actually sets a value on natural systems, and it's rather it's very good methodologically, and it has a very broad area of uncertainty because the data isn't complete, but even the boundaries are very enlightening, and it breaks it down by land type, by waterfront, by acres, and a lot of that data is solid. The acreage data is taken from Landsat or some other satellite. So if you do have any time with extension, you might want to skim this. It's a very powerful piece of information that Lou gave us. It's done by county under contract to Earth Economics in Tacoma.
Thank you. It'll be one other thing to read, I hadn't had a chance yet either, so appreciate you pointing out and reports to that was given to us. I don't have a committee assignment. Leadership team, I think we just need offline if we're going to meet this Friday, gentlemen. It all, Commissioner Horn was at the last meeting. Mostly we just talked about kind of the process that kind of led into tonight's discussion, so from that perspective. So, Commissioner Barton, you did want to have a few moments to talk about meeting length. And then I did want to, Commissioners, firm up either December 10th or December 17th. I know you had a conflict with one of those dates, but I wanted to get a poll tonight. Was it the 10th or the 17th? Which one of them didn't work?
The 10th.
The 10th. So if Commissioners, if the 17th worked for you, it does for me. But maybe we just check our calendars and by next Monday kind of check to, we want to firm up if it's going to be the 10th or the 17th, and we get into the, we could all be there. Want to make the most of our attendance in that respect. So, but Commissioner Barton, just you have the mic.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about scheduling and the length of our meetings, because last week we were here till almost 11 o'clock, and we did 4 land use decisions, and I just thought that was too much. Even though we had briefings and hearings on all those land uses, we had a packet that was over 300 pages, and just going through and doing 4 land use decisions in a night, I didn't feel it was really, it was just exhausting, first of all. And I didn't think it was fair to the public. I didn't think it was fair to the Planning Commission or to the public that has to be, if they had a vested interest in one of those decisions, to stay that late. And it's really hard to do a good job and be effective when you're reviewing that amount of material, and just sort of, it would have been better if we had broken up the meetings. And then I thank you everyone for changing the schedule for next week, but I looked at the schedule for, this week for that meeting, and it just seemed like it was not realistic. And I feel that we're routinely pushing, well, tonight it's 10 o'clock, but our meetings are really running late, and I would like to see them end at 9:30, and maybe have our schedule be a little bit more realistic in planning the meetings. Because, it's fair. Again, we're getting home at 10 o'clock. Most of us work in the morning, and also a lot of the public works, and so they're here for our meetings. And I think 9:30, a 3-hour meeting, it's also hard to be effective past that hour. So I'd like to hear what other people feel about that.
I just want to add, and then Commissioner Keisha, certainly with the amendments that we have, that schedule is kind of thrust upon us as far as the joint plan amendments with the county. So and whether that's neither here nor there, it really was a schedule that was put upon us for the city to get its work done, council having theirs. So sometimes we're at the mercy of others on our schedule, Judy, and it doesn't make me any happier either. So.
No, I realize, but even so, even if we could have broken them up, just doing 4 of them in a night I think it is really difficult, both for us and for the public. And Commissioner Keisha?
I would like to echo, it is very, very difficult for me to read everything, and the schedule is tough, and today somebody was saying about truth in planning, and I was thinking about truth in review, you know, so it's very hard to catch up. So I don't know if it is a wrong thing to ask for extension of time, or I mean, it's just physically impossible to me.
Well, the only thing I can add is that with the extension into March, the first quarter for the comp plan, to my knowledge, that will be the only thing on our agenda will be to go through and to create a doable work program. We still have to address minutes, so we want to get those done in a timely fashion. I think our ability to all digest the information, I think Commissioner Harm was very heartfelt, and I appreciate his honesty tonight. It is a lot to get through, and as well as Commissioner Parker acknowledging that he's retired, so he perhaps has a little bit more time than the rest. So, but it doesn't make it, it's still 10 o'clock for you too, Jerry, so. Yeah, so, you know, sorry. I think the best that we can do is make sure that we're concise in our statements, we bring forward, that we're smart in our discussion, that we get to the issue. When we bring our issues forward, that we, you know, that we are effectively running our own meetings. You know, I'm trying to work us through this 3-hour meeting, and it's now, you know, coming up on 3.5. So I think each of us owes it to the other to be effective in your own management of the meeting as well, and what you bring forward. Other thoughts?
As we make our next year's work program, we need to communicate that we have to have better boundaries with council. We need less on our plate, and we have to have really good boundaries. Otherwise, you know, they're not going to have citizen volunteers.
Yeah.
It just continues.
Is this anything the leadership team could take up in terms of the meeting length?
Well, I can tell you that the meetings used to be longer, frankly. I've been here till midnight for a number of years. It doesn't mean that they were very effective. I
Right.
certainly concur with that. I think as far as the subject and the organization of the work program for 2013, you know, I can only speak to the first quarter. And in that sense of other things that come forward, I think it's going to be really tantamount to what that leadership team looks like, what the council is going to put forward in their own work program that delves into the planning commission. We have work on the implementation strategy that will take up the commission's time. Development regulations will be very, I can only imagine will actually be a lot of hard work in 2013 and 14. There's some significant code amendments that will come forward.
I don't really mind meeting every week, but I do mind meeting past a certain hour. I just think we lose our effectiveness, and it's also not fair to the public. So I'd like to make a motion that we strive to keep our meetings to 3 hours so that we end them at 9:30. So that's my motion.
Second.
The motion on the floor to strive to keep the meetings, let's see, from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. And again, we only meet the first and third Mondays. Those are our official meetings. Any discussion? Commissioner Richards?
Well, I like that a lot, but I think to turn the corner into making it happen, striving is great, but to make it happen, we all have to agree that we're going to adhere to our agenda and the times on the agenda. So if we have 45 minutes, then we're going to be checking in about the time a lot more, and I'd ask Madam Chair to facilitate those check-ins. If there's 10 minutes left in the conversation, and say, we're going to have to make a decision. Do we want to keep talking about this and sacrifice time on the next thing? Because I like the idea of being out here at 9:30. I think I've said for a long time to a lot of people that if you have volunteers, you don't want to, give them an expectation and then ask a lot more of them. So I think we've been doing that all year, or kind of 3 years. years now, but, so it's, yeah, I like the idea of being more mindful of time, and I don't mind going over sometimes if we're being real productive, and that feels good sometimes, but just as long as we're checking in about it, we all agree that, yeah, you know, I want to be able to like, have a life and stuff.
Any more discussion on the motion?
Is there a second?
There was a second, Commissioner Fisher. I think we need to speak to the motion, or Commissioner Hart?
I don't mind going until 10. I think 10:30 is too late, but we can strive for 9:30. But if we go to 10, I'm okay with that. I think that's, sometimes we have to.
Sure. All right. All those in favor of the motion again is that the commission strive to make their meetings 3 hours long. I didn't put the time in for you, but all right. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain. I will abstain. Motion passes. All right. Well, commissioners, I don't see any further business. Unless there's something further that we want to hear. I only abstain, commissioners, because I think it's incumbent upon us to make sure that we're effective individually. And again, there's a lot of pressure on me to keep the train moving, so help me push all the cars along collectively. Thank you. We're adjourned.